Today I'm going to chat about the biggest mistake most business owners make when it comes to putting content out on social media platforms. So you know that ultimately it's better to be doing content than no content. However, the biggest mistake business owners make is not having a purpose for why they're doing that content. So what tends to happen is they go, oh, we need to create content. They start to produce great content and then all of a sudden it drops away and it gets forgotten about and it's not getting put out there. So that's not a good look for the business either. So we need to be really clear what we're going to use content for in our business. And there's two key purposes of content. You can generate leads from content, or you can just use it to build branding and credibility. Now, the flip side of these two is that lead generation takes a lot more work. So some numbers that I've seen put out there that people that are really good at generating leads through organic content, they're putting out 50 to 200 posts per week. Now that sounds a lot, but what they're doing is creating long form videos and repackaging in smaller form. They're writing long blogs and then they get repurposed as shorter tweets, all that sort of things. But it takes usually a team of people behind you after you've created that content to chop it up, to repurpose it, to put it out there again across multiple social media platforms that your target market is on. So ultimately, you've got omnipresence. In other words, you're getting seen all the time, so you're going to start generating leads from that. It does take time for that to warm up and to generate leads, but ultimately, you need to be consistently putting out that sort of volume of content on a weekly basis. The other side of content creation is you're using it as purely a branding and credibility exercise. In other words, you have another lead generation channel that you've got dialed in that's working for you, but ultimately you want to build your credibility and brand online. So you might choose one or two key social media platforms and be putting out anywhere between 2 to 10 pieces of content a week. Usually that's achievable for most businesses, and usually most businesses have an idea of how to generate leads for themselves at the moment, so they don't need to go down this track. But if you do go down this track, obviously this can produce the lowest lead cost possible. So you need to weigh up the pros and cons of doing this and whether you're willing to invest the time and energy and potentially that foregoing short-term cash flow to then produce that longer-term result. With your branding and credibility exercise, obviously if you're generating leads, people want to just go to your social media platforms, see that you're legit, see that you've got content there, and be able to do that. Now, the worst thing that you can do is neither of these strategies, obviously, but if in doubt, have some sort of branding or credibility content-based strategy in place so that ultimately you build that branding credibility for your business. People see you're legit, and you can still, it still assists in that close rate of those leads that are coming through other channels as well. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.